Thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth, Aguele. And we start right away by heading to Jos to join Felicia. I'm sure you want to get an update on the recent attack at the Jos Correctional Center. So Felicia, take it from there.
Of Jos North local government area, Shehu Bala Usman, is calling on security agencies to redouble efforts in ensuring adequate protection of lives and national assets. He stated this while reacting to the attack on Jos Custodial Center by gunmen. Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja reports.
The correctional center was under attack by gunmen Sunday evening. Upon receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police Plateau State Command, Bartolomeo Onyeka, led a reinforcement to the scene and directed that the entire center be cordoned off. After a gun duel with the attackers, the police commissioner directed a stop and search where 7 of the escapees were rearrested and 1 voluntarily surrendered himself. As a result of the prompt response, the situation was brought under control by the superior gunfire of security agencies.
Very unfortunate. I think that it's called for an immediate investigation because so many records have been, have been destroyed, and I am optimistic that His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, will, among his wisdom, constitute a very powerful investigative committee to actually foresee and why these things happen, and also to curtail the future occurrences of not only at the correctional center but also other public property.
Meanwhile, the Jos Correctional Center has recovered 7 corpses, but it's not clear if the bodies are those of the attackers or inmates. In Jos, Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja, NTA News.
Training of personnel is required to build capacity towards excellent performance. Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Ibrahim Ali, stated this in a message to a security workshop in Jos. Abba Abubakar Yakubu reports.
Peace is a prerequisite for development. As such, Operation Safe Haven has embarked on several strategies and means of bringing lasting peace on the plateau. One of the ways of achieving excellence or perfection is training of personnel to cope with modern crimes. As participants gathered here are being trained on human rights law to reposition them on the way forward.
It is my belief that the lecture will help reduce the chances of friction from this interaction with the local populace and also help to promote adherence to international and domestic laws regulating military operations.
Resource persons dwell on how to manage conflict and reducing casualty during crisis.
The way we do with the prisoners of war, how to treat them, and the way we apply knowledge during interrogation, what to do and what not to do. So that is what I've learned so far.
So the 3 principles that will guide them while they are operating in the Northeast are the principle of distinction, where they are required at all times to make a distinction between combatants and the military objective on one hand, and then civilians and civilian property on the other hand.
The training also addressed ways of reducing sexual violence and access to health care. In Jos, Abba Abubakar Yakubu, NTA News.
And that will be it from Jos. Ruth, is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you, Felicia. Land and Air Components troops of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have killed several Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists in an encounter at Forward Operating Base Gajiram Ngaze local government area of Borno State. A statement by the spokesperson of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Onyema Uachuku, says troops of Sector 3 Operation Hadinkai, supported by the Nigerian Air Force component, engaged the terrorists with superior firepower while attempting to infiltrate the Forward Operating Base. While exploiting the withdrawal route of the fleeing terrorists, 10 AK-47 rifles, 1 anti-aircraft gun, 1 Shilka barrel, 1 60mm mortar tube, among other ammunitions, were recovered. However, 2 soldiers paid the supreme price during the encounter. Nigeria is set to host the virtual Sea Power for Africa Symposium at the Naval Headquarters, which will focus on formulating a structure for effective ocean governance between naval forces of 33 African countries. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani will tell us all about it.
Nigeria is taking the lead as a maritime power by hosting the Sea Power Summit, where it will, among other issues, highlight the achievements of reducing piracy in the Gulf of Guinea by 77%.
Permit me to reiterate that the primary objective of the Sea Power Africa Symposium is to promote the integration of Africa's maritime security surveillance structures in the context of a sustainable blue economy based on a common understanding of the dynamics of maritime security threats in Africa.
The virtual symposium is expected to focus on ways of boosting regional naval capability through collaboration.
Share and collect experiences from current models in countries with successful track records of implementation of different blue economy areas and the work of organizations with strategies and programs in these areas.
300 naval staff and coast guards across 33 African countries and the United States, Portugal, Denmark and 3 other countries are expected to attend the virtual summit hosted by the Nigerian Navy. The objective is to chart a new course in tackling the continent's maritime challenges. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
A businesswoman heading to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for Umrah Lesser Hajj has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for ingesting 80 pellets of cocaine. The 46-year-old suspect was arrested on Wednesday, 24th November, at the boarding screening area of the airport during an outward clearance of Qatar Airways flight and was subsequently taken into custody. Another suspected trafficker was arrested with 101 wraps of heroin weighing 1.3 kilograms at Gate C Departure Hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, on his way to Italy via Istanbul on Turkish Airlines. The drugs were concealed inside cassava flour, popularly called gari. Meanwhile, an abandoned consignment of cat weighing 17.90 kg was discovered at the narco shed of the airport. Let's make another stop, this time around Lagos. Adeola is set to bring us the stories from there.
Thank you, Ruth. Chidinma's trial was stalled at the commencement of hearing at the Lagos High Court sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square because the prosecution witness was not composed to give his testimony.
At the resumed hearing, the case prosecution counsel asked the court to adjourn the trial to November 30th on the ground that his witness just arrived at court from Asaba, knowing that the witness could not be composed to give his testimony. The first defendant's counsel did not object to the application of the prosecution counsel, while the second defendant's counsel said he would not also object to the prosecution, but asked if the prosecution counsel did not have any other witness. Counsel to the third defendant told the court that he would oblige the prosecution's counsel adjournment in the interest of justice. At the instance of the prosecution counsel, Justice Yetunde Adesanya then adjourned the case till 30th of November for the continuation of the trial. In Lagos, Kehinde Adebisi, NTA News.
Victims of the fire outbreak, which affected a 3-story building and furniture workshop at Fataya Tere of Ladipo Market, are counting their losses. Hengino John Adams reports that the fire has been put off by emergency responders and no life was lost.
These electric cables are alleged to be the source of the spark that led to the fire outbreak, which claimed property worth millions of naira.
Investigation revealed that there was a kind of rearrangement on electrical wiring within Shotiloye Street, transferring the electrical cable from one pole to another. In the course of doing that, then there was a mistake.
Oluwabusui Kotila owns a furniture workshop which was completely razed by the inferno.
There's a lot of work already finished, already lied on it. Even though some of them, they are bringing the vehicle come from Abuja, come and pick the work.
Eyewitnesses say the fire traveled from the source of the spark, a pole in front of a building under construction, to the furniture workshop, then to this 3-story building.
The 3-story building is said to be a warehouse where assorted automobile spare parts were stored.
The fortification, security fortification of the building was just too much. Accessing it by fire itself was easier than firefighters accessing it.
As Oluwabusui watched remnants of all he has gathered for years disappear with the smoke, he and other victims are hoping that help will come their way. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
It's time for us to take a break. When we return, Ruth in Abuja will continue with Nationwide. Good afternoon.
It's another season of Carols.
Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria invite you to their annual service of 9 lessons and carols.
Theme: Peace, Be Still.
Come and enjoy the ministrations of Radio Nigeria, NTA, Voice of Nigeria, and other choirs.
The message will be given by the Most Reverend Dr. Ignatius Kaigama, Archbishop, Catholic Archdiocese of Abuja.
And lessons will be read by notable Nigerians.
Chairman, Mr. Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Special guest of honor, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Chief host, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, Minister of Information and Culture.
Host, Directors General of FRCN, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria.
Date, 5th of December 2021.
Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja.
Time, 3 p.m. prompt.
The program will be broadcast live on Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria,
including live streaming on Facebook.
For advert placement, call RIT on 0803-451-2261, Lillian on 0803-314-4383, or Bibiana on 0909-965-1270.
All COVID-19 protocols will be duly observed.
Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria Service of 9 Lessons and Carols 2021.
Supported by Vivid Sounds. Come, let's celebrate the newborn king.
COVID-19 hesitancy, status and deadline. That's our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Join us every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Tuesday Live, incisive and educative.
One country, one peaceful people, united in diversity.
We are great Nigerians.
Let's be peaceful.
We refuse to be manipulated by desperados and instigators.
We cannot succeed without your cooperation.
A peaceful and united Nigeria is possible.
Join us in one voice, one love and unity.
As we march round 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT,
for national peace
and unity campaign.
Babban taron Najeriya domin dawo da soyayya a tsakanin 'yan Najeriya.
When the power of love overcomes the love for power.
For our country, Nigeria.
Together we stand.
This message is brought to you by the ambassadors of Voice of Change Initiative, supported by Nigerian Television Authority NTA and Federal Capital Territory FCT.
Welcome back. Experts on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have applauded federal government's intention for the latest bailout intervention funds to 36 states of the Federation. They, however, insist that the sub-nationals must be held accountable for judicious utilization of the funds. Lydia Sampson reports.
Financial bailouts, the guest noted, are implemented globally as economic buffers. However, the fourth financial bailout to states by the federal government within the last 6 years has continued to generate public debate. Some harp on the need to interrogate and place conditions before states can access bailout, while others argue that states do not deserve another bailout without accounting for how previous grants were spent using key performance indicators.
When the president says help, he doesn't mean give. Okay, he means do it right. And those who are supposed to do it right, this is where we should be calling out the National Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Against what indices, against what data, against what programs, okay, are you releasing this money? And then you are supposed to be developing these KPIs. Show us your monitoring template. What have you been able to do? Show us your results for month 1 to month 6. How have you been able? Give us even a sub-national, a situation analysis.
70% most of the time recurrent, and it reflects down the line at the subnational levels. So, as it is, payment of salary and pensions are important, and I think the federal government intervening at this level is proper. But again, there should be a huge issue around monitoring and transparency.
We should find a way to have some level of transparency in accessing this bailout, in utilizing the bailout, and in putting certain conditions such as what has the state been able to do as far as revenue, internal generated revenue is concerned. How are they able to improve? In the last 7 or 8 years that this intervention scheme started,
investment and infrastructure bailouts that can be measured rather than for consumption and overheads. They also stress the need for audit of previous grants and cautioned against diversion of the bailout funds for electioneering campaigns. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
All right, one more stop this time. Port Harcourt Jenny will bring us the next set of reports.
Very much, Ruth. As part of efforts to encourage agriculture and rural development in Cross River State, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has handed over a 2.4-kilometer road with street lights to a community in the state. Erika Evie reports that the gesture of the federal government is to boost agriculture and access of farm produce to the market.
Ikododen Extension is an agrarian community in Calabar Municipality of Cross River State. The magnanimity of the federal government to construct this 2.4-kilometer road is not only succor for the people here, but also an encouragement to boost agricultural activities here. Street lights also adorn the road, which will serve to curb activities of criminal elements in the area.
It's a good thing because provision of one of the problems we are facing in the South is lack of rural infrastructure to boost food production in the country.
Yes, actually the road we have handed over today to the benefiting community was constructed by Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Cross River State, and it's 2.4 kilometers of asphaltic road.
Leaders of the benefiting community are full of gratitude to the federal government for encouraging agricultural development in the area.
And all these projects, I'm so happy that they were professionally done and supervised, and they are serving the people.
What you see at the background there is Ministry of Agriculture. This is what we call a farm access road intervention, and it's a dream come true.
The Zonal Director, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, South Office, Michael Asebake Brooks, is advising the benefiting community to take proper care of the facility. In Calabar, Erika Evie, NTA News.
Behind almost every plate of food we consume is the work of perhaps a dozen or more farmers. However, the future of farming and of farmers in Nigeria is not as secure as we might expect. This is occasioned by the declining interest of youth participation in farming. How to change this narrative is what Chideberonia will be telling us in this report.
Youths are the essential resources of every nation, especially for sustaining agricultural productivity as an important tool for nation building. Despite government's efforts to stimulate the interest of its younger generation through introduction of various agricultural policies, the negative assumption by some youths who see farming as a dirty and non-profitable enterprise appears to be largely responsible for their dampened interest to actively participate in farming.
These days we find out that white-collar jobs are actually not paying because job security is no more there again. So I think we've started looking back at agriculture as a big form of investment, and thank God that CBN is trying to release some kind of loans to youths.
Experts say increased involvement of youths in farming would help reduce the problems of aging smallholder farmers and youth unemployment.
Nigeria is so blessed that if we have to adopt agriculture, nobody will in fact look for people outside to come and work for us. That's how much we are blessed.
If you make that agriculture, that farm with leisure, you go there, whatever you have, he has internet, he have television, he have all games, everything, a standard place. So, and this is expensive. For you to attract youth, educated youth, it is expensive.
All hope is not lost for Africa's most populous nation. Observers say the deployment of emerging technologies in agriculture is one of the opportunities Nigeria can ride on to include more of its young population into the sector. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onya, NTA News.
And that's it from here. We'll now pause for a break, and Nationwide will continue shortly in Abuja.
Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF, welcome you to the Third National Summit on Diminishing Corruption in the Public Sector. Theme: Corruption and Costs of Governance, New Imperatives for Fiscal Transparency. Date: 30th November 2021. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Venue: State House Banquet Hall. President Muhammadu Buhari will declare the summit open. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, will deliver the keynote address. Highlights of the event include the recognition of winners of the 2021 Public Service Integrity Awards. Physical attendance is strictly by invitation, please. All participants are to be seated by 9 a.m. The general public is hereby invited to join on Cisco WebEx or Facebook live streaming on ICPC Nigeria. Announcer, Management.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Welcome back. The president of African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, has advised world leaders not to label or penalize African nations for the new COVID-19 variant. The AFDB president in tweets said Africa is not the source of COVID-19 pandemic, while calling for global justice, equity and fairness in access to vaccines. He also advocates for fairness in access to global vaccine supply. Adesina said Africa must accelerate the manufacturing of its own vaccines and set up healthcare security defense system. Africa, he said, must no longer outsource health security of its 1.8 billion people to the benevolence of others. An update on COVID-19, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 110 new cases of the virus in the country. The 110 new cases brings the total number of confirmed cases to 214,092. 207,254 have been discharged and 2,976 deaths recorded so far in the country. A look at the environment. Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikeazo says the federal government will prioritize the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration effective from 2022 as part of implementation of the Ogoni cleanup exercise. On NG5 reports that this is in addition to the successful remediation populated sites in Ogoni land.
Key concerns for people here in Ogoni land include timely implementation of the UNEP report, flag off of the Center of Excellence on Environmental Restoration, the scaling of livelihood support programs, as well as tackling insecurity by engaging Ogoni youth in the cleanup exercise. Others are to improve transparency and gender parity in coordinating the cleanup exercise.
Please tell the president that the Ogoni people who are his people wants that university, so that our people will be highly educated and will be more highly educated.
As local government council chairman, we have resolved that we are comfortable with Professor Philip. What we want is resolve, because the politics of headship of high prep has not taken us to anywhere.
Livelihood project is made more domesticated, so that Ogonis will feel the impact of that project.
If you employ these same our Ogoni youths in that project, automatically they are already security.
For the Minister of State Environment, these concerns are germane and would receive the needed redress from the federal government.
My goal is to actually ensure that the cleanup project is owned by the Ogonis and that more indigenous people acquire the required skills and ability to participate fully in the actualization of this cleanup. That is where the Center of Excellence and the Soil Management Center is set up.
This event is the first of stakeholder engagements outlined to address the cleanup of Ogoni land in Bori, River State, on NTA Fine Face, NTA News.
Science and technology have been identified as fulcrum on which the development and economic prosperity of a nation revolves, hence the need to inculcate scientific skills in children. And this was the submission of stakeholders at the 24th National South-South Zonal Junior Engineers, Technicians and Scientists competition held in Calabar. Justina Etim reports.
It is the yearnings of developing countries to attain the status of a developed nation, and analysts say the criteria lies in technological advancements. To realize this aspiration, the federal government, through the Ministry of Education, is breeding young scientists with its annual Junior Engineers, Technicians and Scientists competitions.
Well, for now, there's really nothing like scholarship for now, but we are working towards it to see how we can get not just the Federal Ministry of Education, but corporate bodies to pick up these students who have excelled in the competition.
The role of JET in this project is to elevate students in all aspects of engineering, in all sciences, in the medical line.
Students selected from public and private schools participate in oral and written quiz competitions, with Akwa Ibom State emerging as the winner of interstate quiz, while Cross River State won the national team project exhibition.
This exam is going to get us exposed to things we know and what we don't know.
Like me, I'm sure that by the end of this competition, the federal government can grant us scholarships that will be good for us.
The theme for the 2021 project exhibition is the role of science, technology and innovation in addressing human and food security in Nigeria. amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Dr. Bayaro Farah, says the institute is focused on training thousands of Nigerians in the transport sector and infrastructure management towards contributing meaningfully to the development of the sector. He stated this when he led a team of master's degree students of the institute on a study tour to Jigawa State. Let's hear from Mohammed Musa Askira.
Tour Dr. Bayaro Sali Farah says was to ascertain the level of transport infrastructure in Jigawa State and make recommendations where necessary for improvement. Jigawa State, according to the Director General, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, has done well in the transport sector, and their week-long visit to various transport agencies and other organs of the state government has availed them the opportunity to learn a lot.
We are aiming at having an efficient transport system in the country, which is safe and secure and which can meet the needs of the Nigerian economy in terms of timely delivery of goods and services.
Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar commended the team, noting that the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology has been doing well in improving Nigerian transport system through its training openings. The week-long study tour takes the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology to different parts of Jigawa State. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The federal government is wooing more investors to invest in the country's agribusiness, urging farmers to see farming as a business venture. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar says more investment in the sector would significantly improve the standards of living of farmers in the country. Musa Baba Ali reports.
At this forum are local and foreign investors interacting with government officials, including the Minister of Agriculture, on business opportunities in the agribusiness industry.
This occasion will further encourage and trigger more commitments towards increased growth and developments for agriculture and business in our country.
Because I see any person investing in agriculture as a patriotic citizen.
Synergy or our aggregated efforts will lift the Nigeria agri-food production from mere local content producer to a great export-producing nation.
Minister of Agriculture Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar informed investors that the agro industry is experiencing a revitalization with dedicated federal government policies.
Agriculture is now being acknowledged and promoted as a business and not a development program, away from the primordial perspective and able to sufficiently satisfy the socio-economic needs of its practitioners and grow the nation's economy. Our agenda is to guarantee the vibrancy of the sector. Agriculture must be seen as a business and haven for investment.
He said government is committed to industrializing the agricultural sector. Musa Baba Ali, NTA News.
Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, is currently leading the Nigerian delegation at the ongoing Future Tech Forum holding in the United Kingdom, London. The two-day event holding at the Science Museum in London, we hear, is a melting pot of ideas on global digitization. The forum seeks to address issues ranging from health, technology innovations, building blocks in digital regulation, infrastructure, climate and artificial intelligence, among others. Professor Pantami will be joining ministers of digital economies from other countries at the Ministerial Roundtable on Tuesday, 30th November 2021 to deliberate on issues related to the future of trust in data as a force for good, future of the internet, trends and opportunities, governance, challenge and keeping pace with technology in governance frameworks. Pantami is scheduled to meet with global industry leaders in both the public and private sectors during the event. Back home first, the Nigerian Television Authority has again received another pat on the back for excellent service delivery, noting her quest to unite the nation. The latest are from the International Human Rights Commission and the Defense Intelligence Agency. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
Issues of human rights violation has remained a recurring decimal within the African region and beyond, with wide-range impact on victims. To address this global phenomenon, the NTA is leading the pathway through its wide range to strengthen campaign against gross human rights abuses. Now, this is earning NTA international recognition with an award of excellence to service and humanity.
Intergovernmental will mediate between the lead and the led. There is no way you can hear a public statement coming from the International Human Rights Commission condemning the security forces. Even if we are going to do that, DG, our principles is that we write officially through our diplomatic ties with the country, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to notify government of what has been done wrongly.
I'd like to assure you that we will continue to do everything we can to ensure that gender-based violence is completely eliminated, from the Nigerian environment. But we cannot do that alone. We do that with the assistance of organizations such as yours.
The Director General of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, also played a host to the Defense Intelligence Agency, where issues of national interest dominated discussion.
Our security agencies in Nigeria today are facing a very uphill task, and they're doing a very thankless job. But I did complain to them about the unfair treatment Nigeria has been getting, especially Nigerian security forces, from the International Human Rights Commission.
We support our troops in the front line, so basically that's the reason why we're here, to collaborate with the NTA in order for us to push out these products to the public. So
Yakubu Ibn Mohammed says that NTA will continue to use its network in promoting peace and national cohesion. In Abuja, Omeka Marchku, NTA News.
Plateau State Governor Simon Bako Lalong has condemned in strong terms the attack on the Medium Security Custodial Center in Jos, where gunmen reportedly stormed the facility in large numbers with sophisticated weapons. Governor Lalong, while condemning the unfortunate incident, however, praised the gallantry of officers and men of the Jos Custodial Center who rose to the occasion to thwart the plans of the criminals, whose mission was to facilitate the escape of inmates and also cause destruction to the facility. Lalong also praised the quick reaction of other security agencies, joint security agencies rather, who responded swiftly to the situation and took charge of the general area, leading to entrapment of the assailants as well as arrest of fleeing inmates. While describing the sad event as one too many in the nation's correctional system, Lalong said it was high time a holistic approach is applied in bringing such attacks and jailbreaks to an end in order to guarantee the safety of inmates, correctional officers, and the larger society from criminals who choose to attack the very essence of Nigeria's legal system by disrupting law and order. While directing an immediate boosting of security measures around all custodial facilities in the state, Lalong assured that the state government will work with the federal government in every way possible to ensure that all correctional facilities in the state are protected from such attacks. While awaiting full report of the incident, the governor asked the citizens of the state to remain calm. One may wonder what the world is turning into, as the next story will make you question the humanity in us. This is the story of a 48-year-old man in Jigawa State who bagged life sentence in a correctional facility for defiling and infecting a 6-year-old girl with HIV. Shocking is that the victim happens to be a sister to his wife. Let's hear the details from Hawa Haliru Haruna.
48-year Idris Munkaila Dan Asabe of Garam local government area of Jigawa State lowered the 6-year-old girl, a sister to his wife who was on a visit to his house in the absence of her elder sister. It was a case that dragged for more than 4 years, but thanks to evidences presented before a state high court in Birnin Kudu, proving the case beyond reasonable doubt. The presiding judge, Musa Ubale, sentenced him to life in correctional facility. Although this conviction put smiles on the faces of parents and women activists, there are still concerns over the rising cases of rape in Jigawa, now put at more than 200 in the third quarter of 2021. They blamed it to slow pace in the prosecution of the alleged rapist arrested.
Among those that are reported to our facility, we have 84 males that has been sexually assaulted, and we have about 164 female that has been sexually assaulted and reported to our facility. We treat them successfully with many cases.
Actually, it's sad. It is really sad. It is really sad. But the judge has done right. He has done what he's supposed to do.
But the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Musa Adama Aliyu, says the state is winning the war against rape and rapists, especially with the new law against sexual assault in the state.
Violence against person law come into being in February 2021, like I said. And we have so many cases of rape before the coming of violence against person law. And now we have started charging people under violence against person law, but we didn't conclude the trial. So up to now, there is no any case which was heard and determined under violence against persons law.
Further checks at the Jigawa State Sexual Assault Referral Center reveals a disturbing statistics that stakeholders says there is need for more drastic measures to arrest the situation. The official in charge confirms that the center recorded 198 reported rape cases in 2020 and 248 cases from January to November this year.
Another sad tale, agony and sorrow was the mood of Azia people and the immediate family members of the late 18-years-old Chidinma Ezenoche, who was allegedly murdered by the police in Azia community in Hiala local government area of Anambra State. Junior Fesio Koye reports.
Her absence makes the whole world seem empty, as no words the widow, 47-year-old mother, and the grandmother of the late Chidinma Ezenoche say can explain the sadness in the depths of their soul since the ugly incident occurred on Thursday, 25th November 2021.
They don't give me already. Maybe last for 3 years, my husband left. Never recovered for that one. This one come again.
The late Chidinma, a nursery school teacher, was sent by her mother to bring bags of sachet water from one of the shops located along Osumohu, Azia Road, where her head was shattered by a bullet and she died on the spot. The deceased 14-year-old younger brother, who was with her on the said day, an owner of a mechanic workshop very close to the scene of the incident, speak.
The guy now started shooting the gun. One of the bullets wanted to hit me, and I lie down on the floor. The bullets now passed my stand. Go and hide. The police armored car now shifts back and shoots my sister gun on her head.
The girl first saw the motor, ran inside, and all of us ran inside. The police come stop here. The girl, as the girl come out, come check what happened. The girl, then shoot them.
Describing the murder of their daughter as gruesome, wicked, and unacceptable, the town has petitioned relevant authorities, including the Inspector General of Police, to thoroughly investigate the matter. Secretary of Azia General Assembly and Obi of Omondasu Village, Azia, plead for justice as there was no form of provocation that could be linked to this.
So they were going down. I don't know why they started shooting, harassing gun anyhow. I don't know. And nobody even challenged them as they are going down. As is your quiet place, this poor family, they should know what to do to ameliorate their sufferings. This is a widow. And the children are very young.
Reacting to the allegation, the Police Public Relations Officer, Anambra State Command, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, in a statement made available to NTA News, says the police finds as worrisome the false claim that the lady was killed by police officers who were on rescue and recovery mission in the area. He explains that earlier that day, a police escort team traveling through the Azia Osumohu Road were ambushed by some armed men. He expresses surprise to hear about the death of an innocent lady who he says may may have been killed by the indiscriminate firing by the insurgents. The Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Eshen, extends his condolences to the bereaved family and assures that the command, in synergy with sister security forces and host communities, will work to put an end to insecurity in that part of the state.
The African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat has called for establishment of maritime communities towards achieving a competitive and integrated regional hub. The call was made at the opening ceremony of the International Conference on the Role of Transportation on African Continental Free Trade Zone Area in Abuja. Oina Kaloka reports.
The agreement is aimed at creating single continental markets for goods and services. It will ensure free movement of businesses, persons and investment, thereby paving way for accelerated growth. But how possible will this be without transport and logistics?
How can goods manufactured in Nigeria reach Chad Republic fast, reliably?
And this is where the issue of the connectivity, a connection between trade and transportation.
54 countries have signed the agreement, while 41 have completed their national processes to rectify it. Stakeholders at this conference noted that transport has a critical role in the implementation of the trade.
It is time for us to form maritime communities so that these goods can actually move around.
Nigeria is geographically located to serve as a hub, and efforts of government to develop the transport sector commended.
The Nigerian government has embarked on huge transport infrastructure investment across the country to ensure efficiency in the transportation sector.
The ministry is making tremendous progress in the rail subsector.
In all circumstances, Nigeria should have the best facilities so that it can serve the rest of Africa.
There's this clear understanding that we need to develop this sector.
Critical action plan is expected at the end of the two-day conference organized by the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
It was a case of man's inhumanity to man, and not just for the nursing mothers, but for their two babies of about 2 weeks old, who were stolen and concealed in a bag by two female traffickers. Ijoman Wate, who witnessed part of the ugly drama, reports that the suspects were intercepted in Ebonyi State on their way to Lagos from Cross River State. Let's see that.
Of beholding and bonding with one's baby after childbirth is what every pregnant woman looks forward to. But when that hope is dashed, not by nature, but by a fellow woman, then what becomes of the victim? This is one of the questions begging for answers from the two women caught with the two babies concealed in bags. Interacting with them at the Ebonyi State Police Command to ascertain the reason for the child trafficking, one of the suspects, Imabong, a mother of 3 children who confessed to the crime, said she was called upon by one Ekaite who resides in Lagos to help deliver the babies to her at a fee of 70,000 naira. But the journey was not fruitful because of the interception by the Ebubago Security Network and the community vigilante at Abomege in Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State.
That your friend, the baby, now she get the baby, or how the baby take come about?
Just tell me, say, you get her. So, no.
So make you take and do it now.
So my carry go leave her for Lagos. I think one carry enter flight. Them no accept say the baby too small to carry enter flight. So make a assistant carry the baby. Shatter motor for me.
To put for nylon from Oge.
Why from Oge? Why put that for nylon?
So that make I fit pass that checkpoint. If I pass that checkpoint, I go come out the baby.
Madam, since when you don't do this job?
No tell. I the second time do this.
On her part, a pregnant teenager of 16 years, Miss Gloria, was assisting Imabong to take the babies to Lagos, said she was to also deliver her baby and sell to the same Ekaite in due time at the sum of 100,000 naira.
Now, because of my friend told me, so let me go and sell this people. So from there, my friend come tell the woman from Lagos. So the woman told me to make I walk from this woman and go Lagos and go and sell the people.
Efforts have been intensified to ensure that the circumstances surrounding the crime are unraveled, while the culprits do not go unpunished.
The synergy between the police and the public paid off, but the Commissioner of Police have vowed to do everything within the ambit of the law to ensure that whosoever, how many there are, connected directly or indirectly in this matter, will be arrested and prosecuted accordingly.
Information is vital. Very, very, very key to security. If you give us information, we will follow it up. Hide your identity, just tip, and then you see the whole thing will be done.
If not for the timely intervention of the security operatives, the two babies who are now currently in the intensive care unit of the Alex Ekwueme Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, would have been lost.
President Muhammadu Buhari deserves credit and commendation for going through the democratic process to proscribe bandits groups and clothe them in the garb of terrorists. According to the Buhari Media Organization, the Federal High Court ruling in Abuja, which declared the activities of these groups and other similar groups in any part of the country as acts of terrorism and illegality, is commendable and a step in the right direction. In a statement signed by its chairman, Ni Akinshiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, BMO noted that President Buhari has not only shown qualitative leadership, but also respect for the Nigerian Constitution, separation of power. Initially, they said it was difficult to declare bandits as terrorist groups because, in the eye of the law, they are criminals engaged in killings, abductions, rape, kidnappings, and other related acts and offenses. They have no political or ideological agenda and so did not fit into any of the boxes that would qualify them as terrorists under the Terrorism Act. The statement added, "What the federal government has done is to take it beyond the act and give it a new definition through judicial declaration, and by so doing provide legal backing for the proscription of the bandits." BMO said that this has eliminated arguments that would have sprung up if the declaration was made outside the judicial process. Let's bring you sports update.
Nigeria's D Tigers are fully charged for the second window of the first round of qualifiers for the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup after their victory over Uganda, 95-69.